Hey everyone, it's Ricky. So I just got back from camp at Kids Across America, and it was legit one of the best summers. It was my second summer there, and man, God just did a lot of awesome stuff. So this video is just to share the stuff that He did, and for an encouragement to others, and encouragement to myself if I ever, when I rewatch it. So I left for camp about a couple weeks after I graduated from college. So it was kind of like a huge transition and like going back to camp, but it was great because I was really excited and pumped. And so I knew that I was going to work first half as a videographer and like 2 extra weeks as a counselor. So I was like super excited to go back and do like my video thing because last summer I was a videographer as well. I wasn't really expecting a whole lot. Like I knew like before I went to camp, like I was worried about what's going to happen after camp because it's like, okay, I graduated, like now I have to start, real life and like see what's happening. So I was kind of worried about that. But I was like, okay, we'll just see where God takes me. And so staff training week, I was like, it was just a week of growing and being poured into to prepare for the camp and the kids coming. And so I knew like God was going to do a lot of work in me and stretch and grow me this summer, especially once I get into that counselor position, because that's just way out of my comfort zone. But needless to say, okay, so I first got to camp and I met the other videographers. Now last summer I worked with 2 fellas and they were awesome. They were like my brothers in Christ and it was just great. And I felt really cool being the only female. I was like, oh hey, represent for the females. I'm the only female videographer, and I felt kind of cool walking around with a camera in my hand, kind of getting a little prideful, so God had worked with me with that. This summer, I work with all girls, so it was just very humbling walking in and seeing all females. And I'm like, all right, okay, God, like I could tell you're going to work on me in this area, like being with all females. And so it was just really cool to see how God kind of changed my heart. Like a video wasn't my identity anymore. Like certain days, yeah, I felt really cool to be walking around with a camera and making awesome videos, and people gave me great compliments. But just to know, like, it's not my identity, and like to not see myself less valuable because other females do, because like I'm not really talented. To me, I don't feel like I'm really talented in anything, so video was like the one thing I took pride in and felt really separate from other females because I didn't know any other female videographers really that lived near me or worked near me or anything like that. So to see that it was all girls, it kind of like put my heart in check and made me realize like my identity, my self-worth isn't in doing videography or photography. It's in like who I am in Christ and who He's made me to be. So that was a humbling, growing experience in itself, but it was really great. I bonded a lot with my coworkers and we made awesome videos together. God allowed me to be in a position to like pour into them like all that I've learned doing videos, and so that was great to be in that position, and it was very humbling. It was awesome. But most of my growth came when I became a counselor. Now, a counselor at camp is just like a crazy position. You have to be like hype 24/7, and you have to, not that you have to be outgoing, but like you have to just be there for the campers and be outgoing and pour into them and spread the gospel and teach classes and like do crazy stuff or get called out to do crazy stuff. So it's really out of my comfort zone because, believe it or not, for those of y'all who don't know me, I'm actually really shy. So these videos, I mean, not that it's a lie, but it's just, I guess it's kind of my way to like get out of my shell. But so I was so scared to the point, like literally the week before I became a counselor, I had a breakdown on the phone with my mom crying like, I can't do this, like I'm so scared and I'm not worthy enough, like I'm just, just seeing, like, allowing the enemy just to say all these lies and put them all into my head and just, like, convincing myself just all, like, of all this negative stuff. Like, I'm not, not just with being a counselor, but in general, I didn't feel pretty enough. I didn't feel good enough. I felt like I was failing at everything that, I explain it as, like, I felt like I was walking around with shackles on my hand. Like, I was free, free in Christ, but I was, like, just holding myself in bondage, and it was just so frustrating. It's like I wanted to get past myself. I wanted to be delivered of me and my insecurities. And so that weekend I was like crying out to God, like, Lord, like free me of this, because it was so frustrating. I was really crying. I was like, I can't do this, but I'm not gonna like back out being a counselor. Like I signed up for it, I want to do it, and I do envision and see myself growing and seeing myself being free. So I'm gonna pursue that. And man, I was just on my face, just crying and praying and crying and praying. And that next day, it was day 1 of being a counselor, and man, God filled me with so much boldness, with so much hypeness, with so much energy, with so much joy. I didn't even feel like it was me. Like literally the freedom that I've been praying for. And it wasn't just I was praying for it this summer. It's been like forever. Praying for the freedom to be who I am in Christ and not caring as much what people think. And man, He just let me be free. Like I experienced the freedom, and it was so beautiful. That whole week was beautiful. Like I was hyped all week, even with people before I became a counselor tell me in my ear, like, oh, you're so shy. Like, I've never even seen you get hyped. Are you sure you can do it? Blah, blah, blah. So for God to just come in and give me all the energy and the joyfulness to genuinely be hyped and be there for my girls and to make some of the closest connections with my campers, it was great. And this past week was even better. And, going into the week, I was kind of like really nervous because I knew my sister was coming to camp and I was going to be like her Cleo, which meant I was going to be like meeting up with her throughout the week and like seeing how she's doing while being a counselor. And we were at full capacity. So I was, and I knew that I was coming home this weekend. So there was a lot going on in my head and the enemy tried to distract me a lot. And then my coworkers were in a car accident. I mean, they were fine, but emotionally they were like shaken up. So there was just like a lot going on. And with so many campers, I was like, man, am I even going to be able to build that relationship with them or build what I need with them for them to feel loved and for, to share the gospel and stuff. And it was just really cool because by Wednesday, God just moved, man. I knew, like, okay, sorry, I'm like skipping around. But Wednesday is the day where we have crosstalk, which is where we show a skit that is like the crucifixion of Jesus, and then we like share the gospel, and a bunch of kids get saved, and it's just a beautiful, amazing night. So that whole day is just based on like praying and asking God to just move in the hearts of our girls. And with our cabin, we had one-on-ones with our girls, and there was 4 girls I had one-on-ones with. And before then, like my mind wasn't even in the right place, and I was just like, okay, well, I'm here, like Lord, like use me because I'm here, And despite where my mind was at, and despite how I may have been feeling that day or whatever, like, he still used me. And it wasn't even me. This is how I knew it was God. Like, I'm only used by God because of his grace. Because, like, it had nothing to do with me. And it was just beautiful having conversations with these girls, like, getting to share the gospel with them. And kind of reminding myself what the gospel was. It legit was the most beautiful thing, like opening the word and just pouring into them like what God poured into me. Like it was literally like a flowing river through me because there wasn't anything I could give of myself, and just to share it with them and to see them cry about it, like be excited about it, and just feel hopeful knowing like this is what the gospel is. It's not based on our works. We can't get ourselves into heaven. It's only Christ who does it for us. And the thing is, like, it's offered to us freely, and it's beautiful. So like it makes it all worth it. It makes like getting hype and, like being tired and running around all day, being in the sun, sweating, like everything is worth it. Like being able to share the gospel with these girls or with these children and seeing like hundreds of kids get saved. Like that was beautiful. And my sister got saved this week. Man, it was the most beautiful thing ever. Like I was crying because she rung the bell, because whenever they have like a beautiful bell ceremony, and whenever someone rings the bell, it means they got saved, and I was going crazy and I was crying. And like that whole dinner, because of my girls who got saved in the cabin and my sister getting saved, I was like boohoo in tears like at dinner because I was just so happy, and it was just great. Needless to say, like God did awesome stuff in and through me. He allowed me to be free of my insecurities, to finally value myself like as a woman, as a sister in Christ, as a daughter of God, to like value who I am. And to just grow to like love me. Like I'm learning to love me and valuing who I am. And it's literally something I've been praying for forever. So girls, like keep fighting. Know that you're beautiful. Know that like God's working in you. And it's just really awesome really to just be encouraged and to know like God's working in me. He's making me a better woman, and he's helping me to grow as a woman of God. And it's just cool to hear encouragement from other people who see it. And it's just, I don't know, it's just awesome. So I just wanted to share that. And I love camp. I really want to go back next year. And just feel encouraged. I know this video was like all over the place, but I love y'all. Oh, and the verse, hold on, pause. The verse that really encouraged me and made me cry when I was thinking about it, because this is exactly what was happening, was 2 Corinthians 12, 8 through 10. It says, 3 times I pleaded with the Lord to take the thorn away from me, but he said, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. And that was like so true, because like before I became a counselor, all those areas that I was worried and crying about, I was weak in. And like God literally gave me everything I needed to be the counselor I needed to be. And it was all for his glory, and it was all for the girls and their hearts and their souls that got saved. And so it was beautiful, and I love camp. And if you're interested in working at camp, hit me up, let me know. I will get you connected with someone. Okay, love y'all.